Everybody, hello and welcome to the first ever Area of Interest video. Today we're going to be talking about the Motorola 360, mainly because it was the first popular Android Wear watch, and it's a great watch, and we figured we'd take the time today to talk about it.
Why smartwatches? What is the point of them? What do you use them for?
Probably the biggest thing that people use smartwatches for is for displaying notifications on them so that you don't have to pull out your phone and read them.
They're also good for, well, telling the time for one. You can have a bunch of different watch faces on most smartwatches, which allows you for a level of customization that you don't get with just any old watch.
The other thing that I like about my smartwatch is the ability to look things up quickly, easily, and hand-free. You say, okay, Google, and it will just ask, and you'll see a quick result like, hey, what's 10 divided by 3, or other random questions that you have that you don't want to go find your phone for. The other thing it can help with, and this is what I love it for because I lose things all the time, I misplace my phone, and then I can use my watch to find my phone, and that's a very useful feature for me, or else I would leave my phone many places and have to buy new phones all the time. It's true, I lose things all the time. I really do.
Yeah, and then depending on which smartwatch you get, some have different features, such as some have a pedometer built into them. Others have gyroscopes.
Smartwatches are, all in all, very excellent tools. I love mine. I didn't think I would like it at first, but now I have like 6. So they're definitely a thing to look into. They're cheaper than phones, and it makes it seem like you're really cool and techie. So if you want to improve your stats in the tech world, buy a smartwatch. They're cheap, they're fun, and they're pretty easy to get to know.
Okay, so why is it called the Moto 360? It is, or was, the first round smartwatch, and 360 degrees is a circle.
Just to nitpick, the screen is not actually a full 360 degrees. As you can see here, the bottom of the screen actually doesn't go all the way around. Instead, what they have there, that's the digitizer and the ambient light sensor. So that's the only way that the 360 could actually be round, because they had to have the digitizer somewhere, and they wanted to help you save battery with an ambient light sensor.
It's a little annoying at first, but you kind of get used to it. You kind of ignore it after a little while.
You really do.
It's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I've used mine for months now, and it doesn't bother me in the slightest bit anymore. I never notice it.
It's not like it's a huge part of the screen that it takes up. It's just a little bit, so you're not going to really have it inconvenience you all that much.
So what is the point of having a round display? The answer is simple enough. It looks like a classic watch. You want a watch that kind of blends in, so people aren't always like, ooh, is that an Apple Watch? No, this is not an Apple Watch. That is the number one question you're going to get asked.
Yes. People don't care that it's circled, though. They will still ask you if it's the Apple Watch.
Yes, all the time. All the time.
That's just the smartwatch that people have come to know. I will say, having a round screen, I prefer it. It's my preference. So I think having the round screen is nice.
Absolutely.
That's why it'd probably be one of my go-to watches. Any watch with a round screen I would prefer to have over a square screen. Even though you do lose a little bit of screen real estate, I just prefer how it looks.
Now, I would say that there are like 2 different categories of smartwatches. Smartwatches that are designed to look like a traditional watch, and smartwatches that are designed to look like a smartwatch. And the Moto 360 definitely falls in the category of looking like a regular watch. It's got a circular display, 320 pixels by 290. So it's not quite circular, as we talked about with the bottom part. It's got 512 megabytes of RAM and 4 gigs of internal storage.
So one thing you guys might be wondering is, how responsive is this watch? Now, obviously, compared to a smartphone, the specs aren't nearly as high. So your RAM, your storage, your processor, none of that is going to be nearly as high as this phone. But the software that the smartwatch runs and the screen size play a lot into the responsiveness of it. So overall, it is still a very responsive watch.
I mean, it almost never slows down for me. I can, fly through my notifications. I can open apps, use my calculator app on the fly, and it just runs through it all.
An important thing when it comes to smartwatches is battery life, right? We rank things by battery. The Pebble has days of battery, whereas other watches have hours. Well, the Moto 360 falls on the more hours spectrum of this. It lasts for about a day or a day and a half. But Aaron said the other day, why on earth would you want half a day of battery? You're good to it's just awkward. You have it last for a day, you charge it at night,
Yeah, now this will just completely depend on the type of person you are. For someone like me, I tend to stay up really late, and then I also get up at a reasonable time. So having a smartwatch that doesn't last for that entire time would be a little bit annoying. However, I think that the Moto 360 will last long enough for me to use it for an entire day, charge it while I'm asleep, and then continue using it again the next morning.
Okay, so it takes about an hour to charge for me usually, and it's got wireless charging, so I just throw it on the charger, good to go.
Now the wireless charging is very, very nice. I very much enjoy that feature. I have broken my 360, so I don't use it anymore, naturally. But I now have this Huawei watch, which is very hard to charge, and all the other my Pebble charges. It's got the magnet charger, which falls off all the time, and I don't know.
Speaking of how you said you broke yours already.
I did.
So
I did break
speaking
mine.
of how durable it is, it's a pretty durable watch. Noah's really hard on it.
I am very hard, but it lasted me for 2 years, which is a lot longer than any other device has ever lasted me.
Yeah, if any part of it isn't durable, I would probably have to say it's the screen. The screen does get scratched fairly easily. What's the screen material made out of?
It's made of Gorilla Glass 2. But I agree, the screen does get damaged really easily. One of the reasons that is because the screen actually bezels up above the rest of the watch. So the screen is the topmost part on your wrist. So just as you walk into things and brush by them, there's a lot of opportunity for scratches.
The metal also can be scratched. I personally scratched mine on some brick just reaching out, and yeah. But then there's the bands, and both Noah and I have the leather bands.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the brown leather band, as you can see, and it has held up pretty well. I haven't had mine for more than several months now, but it's got some stains along the edges, but other than that, the leather has held up beautifully.
Now you can also get a metal band for this. You can get a metal band version.
Yeah,
You can get a metal band version of this watch. So that is something to keep in mind. We don't have that version, so we can't say much about the metal band itself, but it does appear to be a very nice band.
Those tend to cost a little bit more though, and
Yes.
since we are broke, we went with the leather version.
All right, so is it comfortable?
So I wear mine, from the moment I get up till right before I go to bed, and if I wasn't using it, I would completely forget I'm wearing it. It's really comfortable. The one thing that bothers me is that the watch is kind of thick.
Yeah.
So like if you're wearing a tight sleeve, it will catch on that. But other than that, perfectly comfortable. It's lightweight too, so you really don't feel it on your wrist.
Yeah, now for someone like me, I'm not wearing a smartwatch currently. I have a good old what is this watch?
Regular
It's a
watch.
Casio. This is a Casio watch. Now
Casio
it's-
G-Force.
It's pretty thick. It's about, I think, just as thick, if not thicker, than this watch here, this Moto 360. So, if that's something that you're used to, it probably won't be too big of a deal for you.
So is it any good? This is a very good question. It's the most important question that you have to ask when you're buying a smartwatch. Is the watch any good? And I think so. I really do think that it is.
Based on what we've said so far, you probably gotten the idea that we like the watch. It's probably one of our top smartwatches.
I definitely think so. It was the original Android Wear flagship. It won't get updated to Android Wear 2.0 in the early 2017s, but that notwithstanding, I really do think this was a great watch.
Especially considering the price. You can usually find one of these online now for around $90, which is one of the cheaper Android Wear smartwatches you can buy. And when it first came out, it was considered to be the best smartwatch you could buy, and it still holds up quite well even in today's standards.
This here is the Huawei watch. This is one of the flagship watches for Android Wear, and frankly, the internals are nearly identical. The only thing different is the processor, and really you don't see that much benefit from this watch compared to that one. So you can pay $250 for this watch or $90 for that watch and get approximately the same thing.
Compared to other smartwatches in general, how would you guys, based on your experience with smartwatches, say that it stacks up to the competition?
I've owned a lot of smartwatches. I really have. I've owned the Samsung Gear Fit. I now have the Samsung Gear Fit 2. I have the Samsung Gear 2. I have the Pebble. I've had the Moto 360, and now I have my Huawei watch. And I have to say, even though I do prefer the Huawei watch, and it is what I wear more regularly, I have loved this device. It has been my all-time favorite watch for a long time, and until it broke, it was amazing. So here's what I would say though. It runs Android Wear, which is great. All the Samsung watches run Tizen, and the Tizen app base is so small, you can't find anything else that runs on Tizen, especially now that they have the Gear S2 coming out. My Gear 2, which is like 3 generations out of date, is just, nobody supports it. And this is an Android Wear watch, so all the new applications for Android Wear are still fully compatible with it.
Yeah, and in case you're wondering, that right there, that is major. Because your compatibility among applications, among different things that you can actually put on the watch itself, if you don't have any content, then your watch is basically
just a watch.
Just a watch.
And you could get a $20 watch from Walmart. I mean, really.
So that is something that you absolutely need to consider when purchasing a smartwatch. Is it going to hold up? Is it going to stand the test of time, not just in durability, but in terms of the software side of it too? So something like Android Wear is definitely going to stand that test of time because it's backed officially by Android.
So one of the major disappointments of the Moto 360 at this time is it's not going to be upgraded to Android Wear 2.0, which is going to add some pretty cool new features to it. But the current software that's on it is still fantastic. It's still got all the same apps and all that. So it's still a fantastic smartwatch, even without Android Wear 2.0. The only reason I'm wearing my Pebble right now and not my Moto 360 on the table is because we're using it for the video. I love this watch. I've worn it almost every day since I got it. It's a fantastic piece of tech, and I don't know what my life would be like anymore without it, pretty much.
I feel the same way. I really do. The Moto 360 has been an excellent watch. It really was. This was a revolutionary piece of technology, and it has been just fantastic to wear. And I give it, for its price, 10 out of 10. I really do. It's just that good of a watch.
You say for its price, but that's not to say that it's not like a good smartwatch overall. It's still a fantastic watch,
right?
Regardless.
When compared to other watches at the same price, I mean, you look at all the cheap knockoff things, and this falls at about the same price range, but it's actually supported by Android Wear, and that's huge. It really is.
Yeah, I would say great watch. Definitely put it on your to-buy list if you are gonna look at buying a smartwatch anytime soon. So, is it worth the price?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, hands down.
Hands down. Thank you for watching our video.
If you've liked this video, please leave it a thumbs up.
Go ahead and give us a comment down below if you'd like us to review any tech, and we'll try to if we can.
If we have convinced you to buy this watch, and I really hope we have, it's a fantastic watch, please buy it from Amazon in the link below. It's the best price we could find for it. If you'd like the better version, then whatever. But please use that link. It would help support us and our channel, and it would mean so much to us if you would. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.